Let's start with some politics. And the former PNC youth organizer Abu Ramadan is asking the Supreme Court to order the Electoral Commission to validate the existing voters register.
Abu Ramadan wants the Apex Court to compel the EC to validate the roll if it would not oblige its request for a fresh register. Already, some interest groups have mounted pressure on the EC to validate the existing document. Raymond Aqua has more.
The former national youth organizer of the People's National Convention, PNC, Abu Ramadan, and one Evans Nimako are back in court seeking a declaration that the current voters register is not credible. This comes on the back of the dismissal of an application for injunction to restrain the Electoral Commission EC from going ahead with the Abuako North constituency by-election and the limited registration exercise. This time round, the former PNC youth organizer has an alternative relief. He wants the court to compel the EC to validate the existing register if it refuses to annul it. Lawyer for Abu Ramadan, Nana Asante Bedietu, justifies the alternative relief, insisting the voters register is not fit for purpose and should be cleaned by all means.
The record validation process is simple. It asks every registered voter to come to their polling station within a 3-week period, as happened in Nigeria and as happens in the UK, to sort of justify their inclusion. And if somebody is dead, they won't show up, obviously. And if you don't show up, then you will not be on the list to vote in November. If you show up, you need to justify or your qualification to remain on the register. We have to understand that registering and voting is not compulsory in Ghana. So people may choose not to come. People may choose not to vote.
Nana Asante Bedietu also added that their call is not a misrepresentation of what the VCRC CRAP committee recommended. Rather, it is markedly different from the EC's advertised plans to clean the register.
You know, let me tell you something. In court, the law of evidence is that we prefer documentary evidence to oral evidence. So whatever Reverend Asante is saying, let's all go and read the report that they put out. And we should also remember that that report, when it came out, Justice Crabb, who chaired it, made the point that all the contents of the report were unanimously agreed on by all panel members. Yeah. So nobody can say that I didn't agree to this or I didn't agree to that. And it is in the report. What is in the report is what forms the basis of our alternative relief of validation. So I don't know what he's talking about.
The substantive case, however, has been adjourned to April 21, 2016.
A push by residents of Ago to see all cattle removed from the area may not happen anytime soon, all due to the complex nature of their demands.
Ashanti Regional Minister John Alexander Akon says it will be difficult to get all cattle removed. Mr. Akon, who has been reacting to the demands by residents of the area, will not give timelines. Instead, he wants communities who have over the years lived with the herdsmen to understand the complexity of the issue. He spoke to journalists on the sidelines of a meeting to resolve a feud between settler herdsmen and the Kokombas, which has led to the death of some 2 people.
Residents of Agogo, led by the Member of Parliament for the area, Kwejo Ban Ajiman, during a demonstration on Tuesday, accused government of doing little to help deal with the nomadic herdsmen issue, which has claimed the lives of some residents and injured scores. The accusations come as a March 31 ultimatum jointly issued by traditional authorities and Agogo Youth Association to all cattle owners to remove their cattle expired. But Mr. Akon, who wants residents to exercise patience, has called for collaboration between the Regional Security Council and affected communities in its dealings.
If the human institution, they just close the door, don't enter here, the word comes to an end, you can finish it. But when you have cattle who are in the bushes, you chase, you go, you push them, you rest for 1 hour, they can return. So the dealing is not like normal everyday bread and butter, you finish and then you go away. No, they are still in the bushes. At times you go and patrol the whole area, you don't meet anybody. In the night, you come and see destruction. So the handling is a bit different from what we normally think it should be.
According to him, RECSEC's meeting on Friday will discuss the issue in an attempt to find a lasting solution to the menace. Even before then, Mr. Akon says efforts to bring peace to the area have drained government coffers.
Chief of Army Staff Major General Richard Opukwe-Dusay says the security agencies have succeeded in picking up some suspected terrorists currently under some interrogation.
According to the Chief of Army Staff, though the country's special forces are also on standby to respond to any such threats, they are focusing more on preventive measures. He spoke to Joy News' Mauli Yevwagbe on the sidelines of the commissioning of some new multi-rocket launching guns for the 66 Artillery Regiment in Ho.
I assure you that we are very prepared and ready. We have our special forces standing by. We still training to, as much as possible. The best thing to do is to gather information and preempt it, to avoid it. That is the best. Because countering terrorism is a difficult way to go. The Americans, they talk about all the developed countries. Quite recently, we heard about this Brussels, Belgium attack. Once it happens, then it becomes a difficult drill to do. But what we are doing, and we have succeeded in doing so far, is our ability to track people who are suspected to be coming around with that intention. And we fortunately picked a couple of them who we are interrogating.
Fire officers at Kpegben in the Volta Region have been subjected to unconducive working environment over the years.
This is because the Kpegben Fire Service post is accommodated in the residential apartment, which has very little space to operate and also lacks basic equipment needed for rapid response. Fire officers lamented about the conditions of the post when Joy News visited.
The whole of Kpegben district depends on the Kpegben Fire Service Post, which is housed in a structure initially constructed for residential purposes. The fire post has only 2 rooms available for use, which are the district fire officer's office and a congested restroom. A section of the corridor has been partitioned to be used as a watchroom. The fire post does not have a fire hydrant. There are no computers and surveillance equipment in the watchroom of the fire post. Some officers who spoke to Joy News on condition of anonymity explained that the situation at the office is sometimes demoralizing. The Kpegben Akan District Fire Officer, James Autry, lamented that the conditions at the office and lack of fire hydrants in the district make work difficult. Due to the situation, the district focuses more on periodic fire safety education to enlighten residents to play safe to avert fire outbreaks.
Although the place is not properly built at the fire station, it makes our work, although sometimes very difficult, but we manage it because we don't have enough offices. Our crews are all that congested. It is just a small place, but because we are not going to sit down, since we are at the community to assist them, we do our best to do whatever we can do. There is only one fire hydrant in the community, and sometimes when it is not functioning, we have to travel about some few distance to prime water for firefighting. That is one of our challenges.
To give the fire station a facelift, the Kpegben District Assembly has cut salt for the construction of an ultra-modern fire post and ambulance bay at a cost of 451,000 Ghana cedis. The facility, which is expected to be completed in 6 months, is being constructed with funding from the District Development Fund. Speaking at the salt cutting ceremony, the DCE for Kpegben Akan, Jacob Asongonde, said the project will provide a suitable edifice to accommodate and position the post strategically to respond rapidly to fire alarms. He, however, implored the contractor to go according to the plan and complete work on the facility on schedule.
Fire service and ambulance bay is going to be constructed, the first of its kind in the north of Volta Region. I'm telling you, the first of this kind in the north of the whole Volta Region, you will not see its kind. It is going to facelift the status of Kpegben district. When people enter and they see the edifice, they will know that there are people here working.
The KJB Akan DCE says the NDC is committed to bringing change to the grassroots.
And we are changing Ghana, and now everybody is a witness of what we are doing as a government nationwide, and also more specifically in our district, the KJB district.
The district recorded 25 fire outbreaks consisting of domestic, bush and industrial fires in 2015.
About 829 Ghanaian youth trained under the community policing model have graduated from the police training school at Paologo in the Upper East region.
This is to address the shortfall in policemen in the country, and Albert Sori has more on this.
Out of the 829 youth who graduated from the Paologo Police Training School as community policing assistants, 365 will be deployed to the Northern Region, 313 to the Upper East, and 151 to the Upper West regions. Director of the Paologo Police Training School, Edusa Opoku, charged the new community policing assistants to make the security of their various communities paramount as the country battles to ensure safety across our borders. They were also encouraged to show professionalism in the discharge of their duties.
You have been trained on how to interact with community members and know their security concerns. If they are away to work, you should be patrolling on their street and paths, so that you can give a tip-off to the police. Let us see you. Let the community benefit from you. Those are the roles that we want you to play. Go there and give the police tip-off whilst you're on patrol, so that police can act. Where the problem is beyond you, inform your police officers who will come and do the job.
Upper East Regional Police Commander DCOP Simon Yao Afeku admitted that having community policing assistants as part of the security system will go a long way to strengthen security in the society. He, however, advised the new community policing recruits not to abuse their position.
You are not yet policemen. You are to assist the police in the performance of our duties. And I know you have been taught and you have able to learn a lot in this direction. So let me take this opportunity to advise. I don't want to use the word caution, that you stay away from anything, any attitude, any habit. And that is what is going to make your future. If you misbehave, I believe you will be building your future opportunities at gaining any further employment.
Director of Human Resources at the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations, Alisa Tipo, re-emphasized government's commitment to employing the youth in the country.
CPA modules will be inaugurated by the end of this week. And the massive application that we received shows that all of you are interested in working. And so government is also ready to ensure that all of you do one work or the other. By the end of this year, believe you me, most of you will be gainfully employed.
Well, that's it for the news for the morning. We have a couple of your comments. We'll want to read a couple of them to you.
Yeah.
This one is coming from somewhere in the Keta municipality.
You won't believe it, but Koshi Joseph says, I woke up this morning with a feeling that today is a public holiday.
Yeah, one of those really? Who have the prophecies, right?
And then he says, shout out to all basic school teachers. Happy vacation. Koshi,
maybe
good for you.
Because you're on vacation, you think today is a holiday.
Okay, so this one says, good morning, Mama V and Roland. I like your companionship and your interpersonal skills at work. Keep it up. William Baffo Jr., Jasican districts of the Volta region, sending us that message. We appreciate that you wake up every morning to watch us. Here's a question to you, Roland. Roland, today happens to be the deadline for the validation process of teachers. I would love to know if there is any development on that Bismarck inside La Paz.
Well, Bismarck would want to get in touch with the GES. Perhaps they can better tell us where they are as far as this very validation process is. That sounds more appropriate to me. I didn't know you were staff of the GES.
So this is Tajuddin Inyendi, kind of loving the Friday wear. So we thank you. When we come back, we have the newspapers. We've got the online portals to also look at. And then we've got some training to do in here. What? Have you ever exercised?
I want to. Yeah.
Have you ever exercised?
Yeah, I do exercise once in a while.
Really? How? In your bathroom?
No, I do proper exercises. Yeah.
Okay, but I think the lesson here this morning is that you don't only have to join a gym or be part of a group to say that you're exercising. You can exercise everywhere you are.
But for example, if I see the gentleman coming to help us do exercise, he's bulked up. He can't do that anywhere unless the gym. Look at his muscles.
He would tell you that you can do it in your hall, you can do it in your kitchen.
Can we even invite him for people to see how he looks like before?
No,
is it possible?
Wait, hang on. To all the ladies watching the show, he's one hot brother. Get ready to get down with some good exercise. That's all.
Right. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the stories front, back page of the newspapers, but also look at some news portal stories as well. Do stay on. We'll be right back.